Now let us take standard deviation under group data. First, discrete series. You may observe variables are given, frequencies are given. Here variables are not given in groups, means there is no class interval. When frequencies are given but not class interval, that is known to you, it is discrete series. And it is also known to you under group data whether it is discrete series or a continuous series. To find out standard deviation, the formula is standard deviation equals square root of sigma fd square divided by sigma f minus d bar whole square into c. Under both discrete series and continuous series, formula is the same to find out standard deviation. Here it is measures of dispersion. Under measures of dispersion, one of the methods of measuring dispersion is standard deviation. Okay. Now it may be asked to find out standard deviation for the following data. Now, first step is, here we have to take A and C. Usually under group data, deviations are taken from assumed mean. Under data not classified or ungrouped data, I have already told you, deviation may be taken from actual mean or assumed mean. There, if actual mean is of round figure, then it is convenient to take a deviation from actual mean. If it is fractional value, then it is better to take from assumed mean. And also it is known to you, if you take a deviation from actual mean, then sigma d is 0. If we take a deviation from assumed mean, then sigma d we will get some values. Okay. Now here assumed mean, as in case of arithmetic mean, same. Even here also in case of standard deviation, we have to take same columns and same steps, only one extra is fd square. Here I have already told you, for taking assumed mean in case of discrete series, we may take any one of the values of variable as assumed mean of your choice. Okay. If you want to avoid minus values, then we may take first one as assumed mean. Otherwise, if you want to take the values lesser or smaller values, then usually we take the assumed mean corresponding to the highest frequency. Then you will get the values of d, fd square, smaller values. Okay. Now, if you take means first step is A and C. First we have to take assumed mean. Here assumed mean may be taken corresponding to the highest frequency. Highest frequency is 25. Therefore, we may take assumed mean as 40. Therefore, A equals 40 and C in case of discrete series refers to common increment. Common increment means what? That is difference between the succeeding value of variable and preceding value of variable, or increment between the preceding value of variable and succeeding value of variable. 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70. Here difference or increment is 10. That is nothing but C, common increment among the values of variable. Then next step, second step, we have to take D. D equals what? D equals x minus A divided by C. Means we have to take deviation of each value of variable from assumed mean. That means here take D equals x minus, in the place of A we have to take 40 divided by C. In the place of C we have to take 10. Then I have already told you in arithmetic mean, even if you apply this formula and calculate, corresponding to assumed mean we get 0, above that 1, 2, 3 with a minus sign, below that 1, 2, 3 with plus sign when the variables are given in ascending order. If variables are in descending order, then same, corresponding to assumed mean 0, but above 0 plus sign 1, 2, 3, 4 like that, below 0 minus sign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Now it is in ascending order, therefore take corresponding to assumed mean 0, above that minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, below that 1, 2, 3, that means plus. Next, third step is FD. Now take FD. FD means what? F into D. You have to multiply these two. Here you have to keep in mind even algebraic signs. Here when there is no sign means, that means what it is implied, that is plus sign. Okay, that means plus into minus, minus 7 3s are 21, 10 into minus 2 minus 20, 18 into minus 1 minus 18, 25 into 0, 20 into 1, 14 into 2, 6 into 3. Okay. Now, next fourth step is FD square. Now, FD square means how do you get? FD square equals FD into D. I have already told you, if you take FD into FD, then we will get F square D square. What we need here is FD square. Therefore, you have to multiply FD and D. Here, minus into minus will become plus 21 into 3, 63, minus 20 into minus 2, plus 40, minus 18 into minus 1, 18, 0, 20 into 1, 28 into 2, 18 into 3. Now, next, here it is, fourth step, FD square. Next, fifth step is what? D bar, and sixth step is standard deviation. To find out D bar, what is the formula? D bar equals sigma FD divided by sigma F. Therefore, we need F sigma means total. We need the total of FD column. Here, there are minus values and there are plus values. Therefore, we have to take the total of minus values separately and plus values separately. Then you have to take the difference between those two. That means here it is 9. It is minus 59, isn't it? Here it is plus 66. Now difference is how much? 7. Highest value sign is plus. Therefore, sigma FD equals 7. Now, we need to find out standard deviation. Here we need sigma FD square. Therefore, you have to take the total of FD square column. It is 251. Okay. It is sigma FD square. Okay. Now, next we have to apply. Fifth step is, now first one A and C over, second D is over, third FD, fourth FD square is over. Now, fifth step we have to calculate D bar. D bar equals sigma FD divided by sigma F. Sigma FD is 7. Sigma F means total of frequencies. It is 100. Yes, it is sigma F. Okay. Now sigma FD 7 divided by 100. Now here it is decimal point, it is implied after 7 there is decimal point. 7 means if you put the decimal point, how do you take? 7.0. Here 2 zeros are there, shortcut method. You have to shift this decimal point to the left side 2 places, means it will become 0.07. That is the shortcut method, must be known to you. Equals 0.07. Okay. If it is multiplication, then we will shift so many places of zeros to the right side. Okay. It is d bar equals 0.07. Now, sixth step is standard deviation. Now, take this formula. Standard deviation equals square root of sigma fd square divided by sigma f minus d bar whole square into c. This c must be outside the square root. Now, square root of sigma fd square, 251 divided by 100 minus d bar 0.07 whole square into c, that is common increment is 10, because square root of 251 divided by 100 means after 1 there is a decimal point. Here divided by 100 there are 2 zeros. Shift 2 places to the, shift this decimal point 2 places to the left side. It becomes 2.51 minus 0.07 into 0.07. It is how much? 0.49. Is it? Let us check once. 0.07 into 0.07. It is not 0.49, because 0.07 into 0.07, then how many places are there after the decimal point? 4 places are there. Therefore, here it is 0.0049. There you should be careful. Okay. If it was 0.7 whole square, then 0.49. 0.7 into 0.7. It is 0.07 into 0.07. Therefore, 0.0049 into 10 equals square root of 2.51 minus 0.0049. It is square root of 2.5051. 2.5051 into 10. Now you have to remove the square root. Remove the square root. It is 1.5828 into 10. Okay. Now, equals here into 10 means here 1 0 is there. Shift this decimal point 1 place to right side. It becomes 15.828. This is standard deviation. Okay. Now, I have already told you, just I am introducing how to calculate standard deviation under group data and ungrouped data. In the examination, usually you will be given 2 sets of data and it asks the comparative analysis. Means there you have to calculate even for comparison. You have to find out relative measure of dispersion relating to standard deviation, that is coefficient of variation. There we need x bar standard deviation to find out coefficient of variation for 2 different sets of data. Here just I am introducing how to calculate standard deviation under grouped data and ungrouped data, again under grouped data, under discrete series and continuous series. Now, in the previous video, I covered ungrouped data. Now, it is grouped data, discrete series. Now, if it is continuous series, now I will make a little alteration in the same problem. Okay. Now, here if the variables are given 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60 and 60 to 70. If it was given like this, then that means what? Here variables are given in groups or classes, means there is a class interval. That means both frequencies and class interval are given. That means it is continuous series. Under continuous series, whether it is arithmetic mean or standard deviation, the first step is M. Here first we have to take M, next A and C, third one is D, then fourth one is FD, then fifth one FD square, sixth one D bar and seventh one standard deviation. Here I have already told you, to find out standard deviation even under continuous series, formula is the same. The difference is the C. In case of discrete series, C refers to common increment. In case of continuous series, C refers to common class interval. Okay. Here, and under continuous series, we take assume mean from the mid values, one among the mid values. Means here first we have to take M. M is nothing but mid value, and it is known to you M equals upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. Upper limit 10 plus 0, 10 divided by 2, 5, isn't it? And shortcut method here is, when the class interval is common, you may go on adding class interval to the previous mid value. 5 plus 10, 15 plus 10, 25, 35, 45, 55, 65. Anyhow, you check the last one, 70 plus 60, 130. 130 divided by 2, it comes to 65, isn't it? Now, you have to take A, means assuming here also. Any one of the values of mid values may be taken as assuming, it is left to you. Anyhow, if you want smaller values of D, FD, FD square, then we take corresponding to the highest frequency or the middle one. If you do not get exactly middle one, usually above the middle one, immediate next one. Now here highest frequency is 25, corresponding to that mid value is 35. The 35 is taken as assuming. Then here C refers to common class interval. Class interval equals upper limit minus lower limit. Upper limit is 10 minus lower limit 0, then class interval is 10. Or if you take 60 minus 50, 70 minus 60, class interval is 10. C is 10. Then you have to take D, third step is D. Here the difference is, in case of continuous series, D equals M minus A divided by C. Under discrete series, we take D equals X minus A divided by C. Here we take the deviation of mid values from the assumed mean. D equals M minus A. A is 35. C, common class interval 10. Corresponding to assuming 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Below that 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next step is FD. Next one is FD. That means here in between this F and D, here M column will be there. While multiplying, you should be careful. Here you have to multiply these two, F and D. 7 into minus 3, minus 21. 10 into minus 2, minus 20. 18 into minus 1, minus 18. 25 into 0, 20 into 1, 20. 14 into 2, 28. 6 into 3, 18. Isn't it? Now, here take the total of minus values 59, then this one 66, and here also the difference is 7, that is sigma FD. Here same values, the change is only in taking this assuming from mid values, otherwise the same. Next FD square. FD square means FD into D, these two. Minus 21 into minus 3, 63. Here 40, 18, 0, 20 into 1, 28 into 2, 18 into 3. Same, no change in this, isn't it? Now, total is the same. 251 sigma FD square. Okay. Now, here same values, whatever the calculations you have already taken, same calculations you are here also you have to take. D bar equals sigma FD divided by sigma F. Sigma FD 7 divided by 100.07. Then to find out standard deviation, again same values you will get here also. 251 divided by 100 minus 0.07 whole square into C, 10, class interval. Square root of 2.51 minus 0.0049 into 10 equals square root of 2.551 2.51 minus 0.0049. 2.5051 into 10, and here you have to remove the square root. It is 1.582 into 10 equals 15.828. Same answer you will get here also. Okay, this is how we have to calculate standard deviation under ungrouped data and grouped data, under discrete series and continuous series under grouped data. ಈಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಾನು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ನ ಹೇಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅನ್ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಂಡರ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಬಂದರೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅರ್ಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಮೀನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಈ ಎಫ್ ಡಿ ಕಾಲಮ್ವರೆಗೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಅದೇ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲೇನು ಪ್ರೊಸೀಜರ್ ಇದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೇನು ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಸೇಮ್ ಫಾಲೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಫ್ ಡಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಫ್ ಡಿ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಎಫ್ ಡಿ ಇಂಟು ಡಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಲ್ಜಿಬ್ರಾಕ್ ಸೈನ್ಸನ್ನು ಗಮನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಗೆ ಎರಡೂ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಡಾಟಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇದೇ ಇದೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಇಂಕ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಇಂಟರ್ವಲ್ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಡಿ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಳುವಾಗ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಡ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸಿಗೆ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದೆಲ್ಲವನ್ನೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಈಗ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯೂಸ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಕೇಳೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೀಗೆ ಕೇಳೋದು ವೆರಿ ರೇರ್. ಅದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂದರೆ 2 ಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಾಟಾ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಟಿವ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯೂಸ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಥವಾ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ರೇರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೇಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಲ್ಲ, ತುಂಬ ರೇರ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನೀವು ಅನ್ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾನೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಕಾನ್ಸಂಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪಾಸಿಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಟೇಕ್, ಈಗ ನಾವು ಎಗೈನ್ ವಾಪಸ್ಸು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಗ್ರೂಪ್ಡ್ ಡಾಟಾಯಿಂದ ತೊಗೊಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಓಕೆ, ಟೇಕ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. Now take the problem. It is from question paper, that is University of Mysore, April-May 2018 question paper. That is asked for 20 marks. That scheme was like that. Otherwise it may ask even for 15 marks. Okay. Now the problem is like this. The following are the runs scored by 2 batsmen. The following are the runs scored by 2 batsmen. Mr. Virat and Mr. Dhoni in 10 innings. In 10 innings. Here you may take any 2 batsman name or you may take A and B. ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾರು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ಮನ್ ಇಷ್ಟನೋ ಅವ್ರದನ್ನು ನೀವು ತೊಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈವನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕವರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಒನ್. ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ scores, runs scored by 2 batsmen, and you have to calculate this. What are means that is for comparative analysis. That is who is a better run getter and who is a consistent ಬ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ಮನ್. ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ಗೂ ತೊಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನೇ ಡಾಟಾ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿಗೆ ನೀವೇ ಆ ಡಾಟಾನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, here it is given the scores of 2 batsmen in 10 innings. One is Virat and another one is Dhoni. Okay, here it is 25, 40, take this one, 50, 60, 72, 38, 40, 29, 81, 30, 15. Okay, then Dhoni 10, 63, 22, 75, 90, 30, 42, 6, 72, 50. here. When you are given two columns, you should not assume that one is variable and another one is frequency. Here, see, these are the runs scored by two batsmen in 10 innings. Two batsmen in 10 innings means this one is separate variable and this one is separate variable. Now next it is asked the two questions. The questions are, who is a better run getter and who is the most consistent player? The questions are, first one is, who is a better run getter, and second question is, who is the most consistent player? Who is the most consistent player? You have to answer these two questions. Now, to answer who is a better run getter, for that which one we have to compare? We have to compare the average runs scored by each batsman in 10 innings. And to answer who is the most consistent player, we have to compare the coefficient of variation of these two batsmen. That means what? Here, to find out coefficient of variation, this coefficient of variation is the relative measure of dispersion. Now, it establishes the relationship between standard deviation and x bar expressed in percentage. That means what? Here, for us, required informations are x bar and standard deviation. Okay. Now, under which method we have to calculate this x bar and standard deviation? Here, these are the two different variables. We have to calculate x bar and standard deviation and coefficient of variation separately for Virat and separately for Dhoni. These are two different variables. Okay. That means here we are given only variables, no frequencies, no class interval. That means what? It is ungrouped data. That is important. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟು ಇದು ಯಾವ ಮೆಥಡಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನು ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮೊದಲು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಯಾವ ಮೆಥಡಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಗೊತ್ತು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೂ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಬೆಟರ್ ರನ್ ಗೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಈಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಇನ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಇನ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೀಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದಿದೆ. ಬೆಟರ್ ರನ್ ಗೆಟರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಈಗ ಯಾರ್ದು ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇದೆ, ಯಾರ್ದು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇದೆ, ಯಾರು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಅನ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಯಾವುದನ್ನು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅದು ಏನದು? ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸು. ನಿಮ್ಮದು 6 ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಯಾರ್ದು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸು ಸ್ಕೋರಿಂಗು ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಅದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಅದೇ ಥರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಟರ್ ರನ್ ಗೆಟರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಅವರು 10 ಇನ್ನಿಂಗ್ಸ್ದು ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಆವ್ರೇಜ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವುದದು? ಅರ್ಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಮೀನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್. ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಸಪ್ರೇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟು ಯಾರು ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಅನ್ನಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ನ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಲೆಸ್ಸರ್ ದಿ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್, ಹೈಯರ್ ದಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ. ಯಾರ್ದು ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆಯೋ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಇಂಟರ್ಪ್ರಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ನಾವು ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಾರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಬ್ಬರಿಗೂ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ. ನಾ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡೂ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ವಿರಾಟ್. ಓಕೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ರನ್ಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕೋರ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ವಿರಾಟ್, means that variable we take as x. That means here copy the same 25, 50, 60, 72, 38, 40, 29, 81, 30, 15. Now this is data not classified. Therefore, to find out x bar under data not classified, to find out x bar, what is the formula? That is sigma x divided by n. Sigma x means total of variables. Take the totals. It is 440 sigma x, and n equals number of values of variables. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ 10 innings ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಇದೆ, n equals 10. Now apply the formula. X bar equals sigma x is 440 divided by 10. X bar equals 44. Now to find out standard deviation under data not classified or ungrouped data, what is the formula? Standard deviation equals square root of sigma d square divided by n minus d bar whole square, isn't it? Now means here next step is what we have to take d. Here d may be taken, that is deviation of values of variables may be taken from arithmetic mean, that is actual mean or assumed mean. ಇಲ್ಲಿ deviation means d ನ ನಾವು actual mean means x bar arithmetic mean ಇಂದನಾದರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ assume mean ಇಂದನಾದರೂ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಿಮಗೆ ಇದನ್ನು ರಿಪೀಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಮೀನ್ ಅರ್ಥಮೆಟಿಕ್ ಮೀನಿಂದ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಫುಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ರೌಂಡ್ ಫಿಗರ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಫ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಬಂದಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರ್ಯಾಕ್ಷನಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಡಿ 0 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ಕನ್ವೀನಿಯೆಂಟ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮೀನ್. Here anyhow that x bar is round figure. Therefore here you may take d equals x minus x bar is 44. That means 25 minus 44 minus 19. 44 minus 50 minus 44. It is 6. 60 minus 44. 16. 72 minus 44. It is 28. 38 minus 44 minus 6. 40 minus 44 minus 4. 29 minus 44 minus 15. 81 minus 44 27. It is not 27, 37, isn't it? Yes. Next 30 minus 44 minus 14, then 15 minus 44 minus 29, isn't it? Okay. Next one we need sigma d square. Here take d square. D square means d into d. D into d. 19 into 19. 361. 6 into 6. Here minus into minus will become plus. That is not due. Next one. 16 into 16. 256. 28 into 28, 784, 6 into 6 minus 6 into minus 6, 36, 4 into 4, 16, 15 into 15, 225, next 37 into 37, 1369, 14 into 14, 196. Next 29 into 29, 841. Now you have to take the total of both the columns. Now here take minus values total separately and plus values separately. Minus 19 plus minus 6 minus 4 minus 15 minus 25 plus minus 14 plus minus 29. It is minus 87. Next take plus values total. Here it is 16, 22 plus 28 plus 37. It is plus 87. Minus 87 and plus 87, 0. That is sigma d, isn't it? Now take a d square total. 361 plus 36 plus 256 plus 784 plus 36 plus 16 plus 225 plus 1369 plus 196 plus 841. It comes to 4120. That is sigma d square. Okay. Now here next step, before taking this formula we have to find out d bar. Now d bar equals sigma d divided by n. Sigma d is 0 divided by n. n is 10 equals 0. Okay. Now find out standard deviation. Square root of sigma d square. 4120 divided by n is 10 minus d bar whole square. D bar is 0 whole square, 0 whole square. Goes square root of 412. 4120 divided by 10 means 410 minus 0 equals 400 and square root of 412. Remove the square root. 412. It comes to 20.2978. 20.2978. Now next we have to find out coefficient of variation. Coefficient of variation equals standard deviation divided by x bar into 100. Standard deviation 20.2978 divided by x bar 44 into 100 equals 20.2978 divided by 44 into 100 equals 46 point. Here we have to express in percentage, therefore always take only 2 places after decimal point. 46.13%. Now it is about batsman Virat. Okay. Now in the same manner we have to calculate x bar, standard deviation and coefficient of variation for Dhoni. Okay. Now here take the heading Dhoni. Here I am taking the same values. Here take x. Now first we have to take the total of x. Is it 48? Now take the total 73 plus 22 plus 75 plus 120 plus 48 plus 72 plus 50. It is 460, not 480. It is 460. That is sigma x, and n equals same 10. Okay. Now here we have given the heading Dhoni, isn't it? This is about Dhoni. Now x bar equals sigma x divided by n. Sigma x is 460 divided by 10. It is 46, isn't it? Now next step is d. D equals x minus x bar 46. 10 minus 46 minus 36. 63 minus 46 17. Next 22 minus 46 minus 24. Here 75 minus 46 29. 90 minus 46 44. 30 minus 46 minus 16 minus 4 minus 40. 72 minus 46 26. 50 minus 46 4. Next we have to take d square. Here d square means d into d. Here minus into minus will become plus. Now if you want, before taking d square, you may take sigma d. Here take minus values total separately. Minus 36 plus minus 24 plus 16 20 60. That means it is minus 120. Next if you take plus values, 17 plus 29 17 plus 29 plus 44 plus 30. That is also 120. That is 0. Sigma d equals 0. Okay. Now d square, that is 36 into 36 1296. 17 into 17 289. Then 24 into 24 576. 29 into 29 841. 44 into 44 1936. 16 into 16 256. 4 into 4 16. 40 into 40, 1600. Then 26 into 26, 676. 4 into 4, 16. Okay. Now take the total. 1296 plus 289 plus 576 plus 841 plus 1936 plus 256 plus 16 plus 1600 plus 676 plus 16, that is 7502, that is sigma d square. Okay. Now you have to apply the formula. Now first take d bar equals sigma d divided by n, d equals 0 divided by 10 equals 0. Okay. Next, d bar, standard deviation equals square root of sigma d square divided by n minus d bar whole square equals square root of sigma d square 7502 divided by 10 minus 0 whole square equals square root of 7502 divided by 10, 750.2, 0 into 0, 0 equals square root of 750.2. It comes to 27.3898. 27.3898 standard deviation. Now we have to apply the formula to find out coefficient of variation. Same formula, standard deviation divided by x bar into 100. Standard deviation 27.3898 divided by x bar is 46 into 100 equals 27.3898 divided by 46 into 100. It comes to 59.54%. Okay. Now you have to answer the questions. The questions are: who is a better run getter and who is the consistent player? Here take Virat, Dhoni. Here take x bar, coefficient of variation. X bar of Virat 44, of Dhoni 46, coefficient of variation of Virat 46.13%, of Dhoni 59.54%. Now, how to answer the first question? Whose x bar, here it is 46, coefficient of variation Virat 46.13%, Dhoni 59.54%. Now to answer the first question, we have to compare this average run scored by these two batsmen, that is nothing but x bar. Here average runs scored by Virat 44, Dhoni 46. Which one is higher? Dhoni's average score is higher. Therefore, who is the better run getter? To this you have to write in the place of who. In the place of who you have to write Dhoni is a better run getter, because average runs scored by Dhoni higher, okay, compared to Virat. Then when you answer to second question, who is the most consistent player, then you have to compare coefficient of variation. It is already, I have told you, lesser the coefficient of variation, higher the consistency, stability or uniformity. Okay, higher the coefficient of variation, higher the variability or flexibility, but lesser the consistency. Lesser the coefficient of variation, higher the consistency. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಯಾರು ದಿ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚಿಗೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ವೇರಿಯಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂದರೆ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಕನ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು. ಓಕೆ, ಆಗ ಯಾರಲ್ಲಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಧೋನಿ is a better run getter. Second question, Virat is the most consistent player. Here you have to write Virat is the most consistent player because coefficient of variation of Virat is comparatively lesser than Dhoni. This is how you have to answer when two different variables are given and comparative analysis is asked. Okay, thank you.